Gareth, congratulations. How does it feel to extend your stay at City?
Yeah, it feels amazing. Really pleased. I think had some good conversation with the important people here at the club, spoken about the project and what we want to achieve, what we've already worked on, which is a hell of a lot so far. So I'm really happy, really happy.
Must be really pleasing as well for it to be a 3-year extension, a long-term view for you to kind of see what you can do to take this club to the next level.
Yeah, of course. I think most head coaches would say the same. You know, time is probably at a premium in our job, but I think you see the best things with longevity, and I think what we're doing here and what we're trying to achieve is a building a long-term project of sustainability and also of success. And I think that you know, since our inception as a professional club, we've seen that, but we want more, and I certainly do want more. And I think that what excited me about this project was that we were really starting to really get key people into the building, and I think that's not just with our playing recruitment, but obviously with our staffing recruitment as well, which is really important. And I think Charlotte is someone I worked with previously in the academy. Neil's coming on board as well now, is also going to help me to concentrate on what I need to concentrate on. So I think the exciting part as well is moving to the new facility. I think there's many good things to look forward to, and obviously the team is doing great at the moment, and we want that to continue. We know that it's really difficult to stay at the top, but that's the target and that's what we want to do.
Absolutely. It's a really exciting time to be a part of this club, as you say, both on and off the pitch. What are you hoping that we'll be able to achieve over the next few years with you in charge?
Well, we want to be back on the European stage for sure, and I think it's really difficult now. I think outside of maybe 1 or 2 teams in Europe, there's no guarantees. I think everybody's got to really fight to firstly get that qualification and then have to qualify as well. So, of course, for us, we want to take away that qualification by winning the league, and I think that's got to be really tough because we know we're going up against some really top teams with good levels of support also. So I think the challenge is exciting, but I think we've seen a lot of seeds of success, I think, in these last few years in terms of what we've done. Obviously quite a large turnover of playing staff, which can happen sometimes, and it's normal. We want to try and manage that as best we possibly can, and like I say, I think some of the people we've got coming into the building now are really going to help us to try and achieve that.
There's still obviously a long way to go this season, but as you've mentioned, it's been a really strong start. It must be really pleasing from your perspective to be able to see all those long-term plans sort of come into fruition, and hopefully by May celebrating some silverware and maybe looking ahead, as you say, to a European campaign. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, people always look at silverware being the measure of success, of course, and I understand that, and I understand the job that we're in and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve. And of course, you know, we really want to do it. We really want to be there and win the trophies that we feel we're capable of doing. But of course, it takes time, and I think when you look at probably last summer with the one player out, one player in Jill Roord, it was obviously a top player. I think obviously a lot of people would have looked at that and thought, okay, what's Man City's kind of ambition? And you know, our ambition was always to be right at the top, and we've done that, and it's taken a lot of hard work from a lot of people behind the scenes. The players have really bought into what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve, and probably similar to what we were talking about before with longevity, I really do see the benefits of working with the same group and the same players consistently over a period of time, because that's when you really start to see the magic happen. And when you're changing a lot and players are coming and you're working with players for maybe a year or 2 years tops, it's really difficult then to probably squeeze out those real qualities that we feel we can get. And what we're seeing now is obviously having players in the building who we've been working with for a while now, who are taking their games to very high levels. We still know that there's more to come, absolutely, from these players, and you know, our recruitment's been good in that respect, that not only are we signing very good players, we're also signing very good people who are open to learning and improving.
Absolutely. You mentioned that there about having good people as well as players. Just tell us a little bit about the environment at the club at the moment, because it just seems that it's very positive but also very motivated to keep pushing and keep improving.
Yeah, I think we're really diligent in what we do, you know, whether it be playing staff or actual staff who are going to come in and help this environment. You know, what we have created this season, I think even last season, a lot of the players will talk about the environment and how engaging and open it is, and one that's where you feel you can be your true self, and that's really important. And I think sometimes we've had to really look into the personalities of some of the people that we've been recruiting, for sure. We've done our homework. We've spoken to a lot of people who work with these players or staff, because that's really important. And I think what we have created is, you know, a good environment, like I say, for the players. The staffing environment is very good as well. We've got people in there who work tremendously hard, who give up so much of their time to go above and beyond what their actual role is. And I think in any organisation that's going to be successful, you really need that.
We'll talk about the on-pitch success and ambitions in a little bit, but you've mentioned already the impact that Charlotte O'Neill and Nils Nielsen, just to name two people, have had. How important have they been to help you sort of take not just the team to a new level, but also to help you do your job to the best of your ability as well?
Yeah, really highly. And I think one of the main things they've done is that they've come in and not changed anything too much. You know, they've assessed, they've had a look at it, they've probably seen what we do quite well, and also where maybe there are a few gaps that they could potentially help with. And yeah, I think that's really clever from them. I think Niels has been probably in the building a little bit longer than Charlotte for us, and he's helped in a number of ways. And I think his experience of having been a head coach previously in the women's game is obviously really helpful as well, because you're not just talking to someone who's not been there. And Charlotte, I've worked previously with in the academy, and it was great. You know, she really cares about the women's game, and also she really cares about people. And I think what she'll do is be really clear in our objectives and really clear in what we are capable of doing, and maybe what we're not going to be able to do. And that's absolutely fine, because as coaches, we're impatient. We want the best now. We want absolutely everything to be spot on, and you know that's not the case. And I think where we have probably been strong over the last couple of seasons is when we haven't been successful. And I think that's really key, that you've got a group of people who stick together, a group of players that stick together as a group when the going gets tough. That's when you find out a lot about people, because you're not going to get everything going your own way all of the time.
Absolutely. Talking about the team, you've mentioned that mentality in the last few weeks, in particular, sort of a newfound determination to really grind out results. Where do you think that's come from? Do you think that's just from, as you've said, having a stable squad that knows each other, or is there something that you maybe feel switched from before? Yeah,
I think both. I think it's definitely the continuity of the group. I think it's certainly come from within. Certainly come from within, you know, because you're talking about the same people that maybe in a different situation in the past, they might not have shown what they are showing now. And I think it's all credit to them. And we really push that. We train it as well, which I think is really important. So tweaking a few things here and there in the training program has been significant to help us. I think there's a lot of individual work that goes on pitch, off pitch. You know, we've got good staff here who really connect with players. And then you've got to have the players buy into it. And they really have. And they really want to improve and get better. And they take pride. I think that's what we do now, is we really take pride in our performances, not just with the ball, but also without it.
What must be really pleasing as well is you're obviously extending your stay, but a few months ago we were talking about Kiara Keating extending her stay, Yui Hasegawa. Season before there were players like Alex Greenwood, Bunny Shaw, Alana, Laura Coombs. It just seems like it's a really exciting place to be at the moment, with players wanting to stay and improve and feeling that City is the best place for them at the moment.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. When they do that, it's great, because it's almost a nod to what we're doing as a club, that they feel that they want to continue that journey. And that's really difficult as well, because, you know, the landscape of the women's game has notoriously been, probably just before I started, of 1- and 2-year contracts at best. And what we're trying to achieve now is something different, where we're working with good players for a longer period. Jess Park would be an example, and their journeys can sometimes be slightly different, where she goes out and takes a loan for a season with Everton and comes back and has to be patient and ends up breaking into the team. But we know that there's a player in there, and sometimes their development might be with us, it might be elsewhere. But ultimately there's a purpose behind it in order to get what you want, which is top players. And I think what you're seeing from Jess now is, as an example, is someone who's really bought into what we do and is trying to squeeze the maximum out of what she brings.
There's been a lot, but could you pick out a highlight from your time as manager so far?
I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit weird in that sense. You know, obviously winning 2 trophies was great, and I think what it does is it validates kind of what we do, and it brings confidence to the team. And then, of course, last season, we were in a really good position at one point, and we just didn't quite have enough of a squad to be able to see it over the line into terms of what we wanted to achieve. And I think that's been clever by the club in terms of what we identified as potentially what we need. And making sure that we look after us. I think making sure that we look after the team first and foremost. I think players will have their own ambitions, there's no doubt about that, but what we continually have to do as a club is to make sure that we look after the team, and the team always comes first. And yeah, I suppose for me would be the difficult moments. I'm kind of weird like that, you know, I think that's when you find out a lot about yourself. And what I will say is the club were very good with me in that space, and they allowed me to still continue to be myself. And I was really clear on what I wanted to do. I was really clear on how I wanted us to play, and I think it means more to me than anything. And what I would say is the club were great at that point in standing behind me when results weren't so good, and there were conflicting reasons behind that, but I thought the club were great in that space. And you know, it just goes to show again that you don't always come out of it the other side still intact, but this time we did, and I think we're starting to see now some real positive seeds of growth with the group of players that we have.
Absolutely. Just quickly, finally, on the fans, the support has been incredible across this season and all the seasons. Do you have a message for them now that you've extended your stay by 3 more years?
Yeah, just to thank them for all of the support they've given to me personally, but also the team. I think they've been amazing in the numbers that we've shown and the way we've really been able to. Because don't forget, obviously my first season was in COVID where there were no supporters, so that was a tough transition for me and probably a tough relationship to start off with. But I think they've been amazing, and they've really helped the team. They really helped us as a club. They'll continue to do that. I think they really get it. I think they really get what we're trying to do here and what we are trying to achieve, and we have a clear identity and how we want to play. So yeah, just really looking forward to the next bit, and you know, really excited about what they can bring to help us.
Gareth, once again, thank you for your time and congratulations on the new deal.
Thank you.